What is going on, YouTube? It is your host, Ray.
This is Max.
And this is Drunk Words, Drunk Thoughts, where we give you great advice, great stories. We do drinks. We also do rants now. All right. Jumping right in. Max, what are you drinking today? The Arizona Blackout. And if you go right here, we're going to show you exactly how to make it. So, cheers, buddy.
Tired, eh? Oh, that won't wake me up.
The first in our three-part segment of, we're going to call Cuba 2018, Max.
Yeah.
When this guy and this guy went across the ocean. It's an ocean, right?
Yeah, well, I hope
Yeah,
so.
went across the ocean. It's when this guy and this guy went to Cuba back in 2018. And the first segment, we're just going to call it a Cuba 2018 Part 1. And we'll call it The Cave.
The Cave.
The Cave.
Oh, man.
So, we got to Cuba, all right? Sunday. Late. The cave happens.
Yes, it's on Monday.
Yes, it is Monday.
Oh, yeah, it's on Monday.
All right. I want to give you guys a little bit of how this trip started first, all right? I contact Max. I'm like, man, we got to get out of the country.
Yeah.
What are you doing? He's like, I don't have plans. I'm like, okay, we're going to Cuba, man. In November, it's happening.
Yeah.
He's like, okay, sure. I'm like, it's happening. So, we're literally at the airport. It's November. The time has arrived to go. Max decides, you know what would be great for this trip? It would be great if we bought like a 12-pack of Mike's Hard Lemonade.
Oh my God, yeah.
Then we get to the airport and we realize that we can't bring the 12-pack of Mike's Hard Lemonade with us. Go figure. They won't allow alcoholic beverages into the airport.
Ridiculousness.
So, what do? Do we throw out a brand new 12-pack of Mike's Hard Lemonade? No, we do not. Instead, we decide to be degenerates. We go back out to the parking lot, and we're like, hey, we got to chug these 12 Mike's Hard Lemonades before we get on this flight that we're going to be on for 4.5 hours, because that's a smart thing to do.
Yep.
And here's the crux, if you will. We have to have that finished in the 20 minutes before we check in.
Yeah, before boarding. Yeah.
So Max, being the tank that he is, no problem. He's like, yeah, where are my 6 Mike's Hard? No problem.
Oh, yeah.
Crushes them. He's buzzed, but he's fine. Me, I'm struggling, man. No, I'll call myself out right. I'm struggling. I finished 2. I was like, yeah, okay, 1, 2. We're both going at the same pace.
Yeah.
And then he starts drinking the third one like it's water, and I'm like, okay, well, I gotta slow down. You know, like these are carbonated. Like, I don't know if you knew that. Like, by the 4th one, I'm like, I'm ready to spew chunks everywhere. But I still got 2 more. So Max is like, hey man, you want me to like help you? I'm like, no, I got it. All right, you did your half. I'm gonna do my half. Start drinking the 5th one. I'm holding the 6th one. I just find the nearest garbage can, just throw it out. I'm like, there's no way I'm doing this.
Fair enough.
So Max is buzzed. I am like borderline ripped. Like, this is how we start the flight. We get there, nothing happens exciting on the flight. That was just like, it should give you a little bit of what this trip was going to be like.
Yep.
So we finally land. Mm-hmm. We get from the Cuban airport to our hotel. I think it was like a 2-hour drive by bus. That's how they shuttle you there.
Yep.
No choice in that. So we finally get there. We decide, hey, it's super late. It's like 11:30 at night or something like that. But let's try to go out so we can say that we went out every night we could go out. Nothing happened that first night at all.
Such a mistake.
Nothing happened. We didn't know where to go. We didn't know who to see. Our friends, we hadn't met up with them yet, which we would do on the Monday.
Yep.
So fast forward to Monday. Monday is the cave night. So if you're ever in Cuba, Veradero, you know that this place is open 1 day a week where it's actually the best time that it is, and you go on that 1 day.
Yep.
So we enter the cave. Mm-hmm. We tell everybody we're going. They're like, oh yeah, man, you want to go to the cave. The cave is where it's at.
Especially on
That's the club you know, you want to go there. That's the day of the week for it. Anyone is going to be at the cave.
Yep.
And I'm like, okay, no problem. I guess we're going to the cave then.
Yeah.
Max is excited. It's his first time in Cuba. My, like, 4th or 8th time. I can't keep track. But, like, in any case, it was my 4th time. In any case, we go. We're finally there.
Yep.
We get in there. Lasers galore, man. Like, I swear to God, like, how you don't go blind in there, how one doesn't just hit you in the right ankle, right in the eye, and you go blind. I don't know. But the thing looks like, kind of like, you took one of those, like, $4, like, starlight things to light up your house.
Yeah.
And they just shot it inside.
Yeah.
And somehow nobody gets wrecked from it. I don't know. The drinks there are extremely reasonably priced. If you want an actual beer, it costs you $3. But if you want a shot of vodka, or if you just want bar rail, so they'll like mix like with a splash of soda or something like that, you can get shots of vodka for $1.
Yeah, I freaked out.
So Max and I are like, well, I don't want to drink beer tonight then. Like, no problem.
Yeah.
Start ripping these mixed drinks back.
Ridiculous.
Then these 2 girls approach us, both from England.
Yes.
Both from England.
Yeah.
And Max looks at me and he's like, hey, you know, like, this one girl, you look kind of good. Like, you know, like, you want to wing me? And I'm like, oh, yeah, man. Like, you know, that's what I want you to have a good time. Like, that's what I'm here for.
Yeah.
So, at that point, I'll let Max go from there.
So, the crazy part is, like, when we got in, I saw those 2 girls. I was like, oh, okay, cool. And then, you know, there's a lot of people, so I didn't even pay too mind. Then, obviously, I freaked out about the prices of the drink, so I was just like, okay, cool, we're just going to rip a bunch of like vodka and not care. And then we see those 2 girls, and then this time they approached us. And, yeah, that's why I spoke to you. I'm like, okay, look, you're going to wing me, because, like, I've noticed that the other friend, now she wasn't there, but the other friend's going to come back. Not thinking, like, okay, well, I don't know what she looks like, really. Yeah, whatever. So I do my thing there. I start dancing with her, that particular girl. And then I end up, like, being outside for a bit. Because she wanted to go smoke or whatever. We're talking about politics. We're talking about a bunch of stuff. And then I think, like, that's when... I don't know if you met me outside after with the friend. And then, like... the definition of, like, picking up a grenade, I guess we could say.
It was a grenade for sure. And I'd do it for you anytime, man. As long as, you know,
you don't get slapped.
It's not interfering with the fact that I am married, you know, like. But the big thing is, like, this girl was the definition of, like, British trash, you know, like.
That's good.
I don't want to sound mean. I'm not gonna name names or anything, but like this girl.
Nah.
There's people that just become trashy when they drink, and this is the example of it. So I've got Max over here talking to his girl, literally trying with his eyes to communicate to me as much as he can. Hey, man, I really need you to, like, keep this girl in the frame, close enough to her friend that, like, she doesn't need to go look for her.
Yep.
But, like, also, like, man, I'm sorry. You know, like, that's kind of the look I'm getting. And I'm like,
for sure.
Okay, like, you know, you're like my brother, so, like, I got you, man. Like, at one point, like, this girl's, like, trying to kiss me and stuff. I'm, like, not having it and everything. And then the drinks really start to sit in for me. I don't know if it was those mics hard from, like, us even leaving for the trip and they were affecting me, like, 2 days later or whatever.
Delayed reaction?
Something. Or if it was these $1 vodka mixed drinks that we had, like, at least 5 or 6 each of.
Yep.
But it starts hitting me all at once. Just as it starts hitting me, out of the corner of my eye, I'm noticing, like, a turf war or, like, a gang fight. And as you've heard from my other videos, apparently this shit only happens when I'm around. But there starts to be this turf war. I shit you not. It's a bunch of, like, I want to say Americans because I don't know where else they would have been from.
That's true.
But there had to be a bunch of Americans. This is before, like, the embargo got lifted, all this stuff, and, like, they could travel freely. So I don't know how the fuck they even got in there.
Yeah.
But a bunch of Americans with fucking red bandanas on. All of them were like of Latin descent. They all spoke perfect English, and they all had like a fucking Brooklyn accent. All right? All of them were wearing flags, colors. If you don't know what flags means, it means you're wearing a bandana. You're all trying to symbolize the same color, saying that you're in the same group. All of them are wearing the same flags. And they're wearing this red bandana.
Yeah.
They're all wearing it differently. One guy's got it like this, another guy's got it around his mouth like that. Some dude just got it here. Some guy's got it around his neck.
All red.
And I'm like, there's like 20 of them. And I'm like, yo, what's going on? I'm like, I'm drunk. I want to investigate. That's how stupid I am. I'm like, yeah, like, I don't know what's going on. So I walk over and like, I don't know it, but I'm talking to like the leader of this like 20-person like American gang that's now in Cuba outside this nightclub. And I'm like, man, what's going on, man? Like, and I'm just bringing the energy, you know? I always do that. I'm bringing the energy. I'm like, what's going on? And he's like, oh, man, like this one dude, we're beefing this one guy. And I'm like, what did he do? They're not giving me details. They're not telling me shit. I'm like, yo, what does he look like? We'll all go fuck him up together. Like, all of a sudden, I'm just on this mission to, like, help these guys track this dude down so that, like, somehow I can patch in, but I'm also, like, not trying to patch in. Like, I want nothing to do with them, but I'm, like, bored, and I'm like, yeah, like,
Something to do.
Something to do. Like, let's cause some shit.
Oh, man.
So they're like, oh, man, this guy's in, like, a red shirt and stuff like that. So I start getting crazy, man. I'm like, yo, like, I'm asking everybody I see in a red shirt. I'm like, yo, are you fucking with this crew? You fucking with my crew, man? Like, to the point where, like, I'm getting louder than they are as, like, a 20-person group.
Yeah.
To the point where one of them goes and grabs Max.
Yeah.
And they're like, yo, is that your boy? And Max like, yeah. And then it's like, yo, you gotta calm your boy down, man. Like, the police are gonna come and shit like that.
Yeah.
So then Max comes over to me. He's like, bro, like, what's going on with you? I'm like, yo, I'm looking for this dude, man. Trying to fuck this guy up. Like, I don't know what the fuck he did, but, like, you know, we're all after him. We're all like, and I'm like talking like the whole group is my group and shit like that. And then, like, the leader from the gang comes back up to me. He's like, yo, man, like, you gotta calm down, man. I'm like, yo, don't tell me to calm down. I'm like, you don't even have heart, man. I'm like, I'm out here. I got heart. I'm looking to finish what the fuck y'all started and get this done. Like, I get it. I don't know what's going on. For some reason, I've managed to, like, insert myself and then make myself the biggest part of the situation. Again, it might have been the vodka, might have been the Mike's Hards, but in any case, this is where we're at now. At this point, this British girl that, like, I've taken the grenade of for Max decides that I've embarrassed her by making this scene with these gang members and stuff like that, to the point where, like, she feels it's appropriate to come over to me, talk to me, and be like, stop acting like an idiot or something like that in a British accent.
Yeah. And
then I'm, like, still doing my thing. And then she open hand slaps me across the face. Full force. Slaps me across the face.
Yep.
And this was my reaction. I get hit in the face, and then I just look at Max. Dead-eyed. Dead-eyed look at Max, and Max gives me a look back like, I'm still trying to smash your friend, though. And the next words out of my mouth were, where's that dude, though? Where's that guy at? I'm still looking for this guy in the red shirt, because now I want to hit him because I just got hit. I can't do anything about it.
Like, the best thing about this whole thing was, like, while it was happening, this other girl was, like, trying to push me into a taxi to leave.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's like, okay, yeah, we gotta leave. I'm like, yeah, but my boy's over there. Right? Like, you were still around. And then I'm like, bro, like, we're going. You're like, no. Like, no. You're just pushing me away. No, man.
I remember at one point, I literally, like, I knew that she was trying to get you to leave. And I was like, man, I just want you to have a good time in Cuba. I'm going to keep looking for this guy in the red shirt. I don't care. Like, that was my priority. That was my focus.
Yeah.
And at this point, the police have come over to me. And the gang is no longer there anymore.
Right. Yeah.
Because now I'm the loudest person, and now it's all about, like, me. And now the cops have come over to Max, similar to the other story where they're like, what's going on here?
Same thing.
And then Max is like, well, that's my boy. They're like, you know, tell him to calm down. Like, nobody's getting arrested, obviously, because it's Cuba, and nobody's done anything.
Right.
But, like, you know, tell him to calm down.
Mm-hmm.
And then Max like, come on, Ray, like, we should leave.
Yeah.
We should leave. Let's go. I'm like, man, you know, I got work here. All right? I'm at work right now. I'm trying to finish this shit.
Yeah.
I'm looking around for the reasoning why I'm finishing this shit. They ain't even there anymore. I'm like, now it's just about me. I'm like, I'll settle this shit. And I'm like, literally, like, trying to shove, like, $40 cash into this, like, cab driver's shirt to, like, get him to take Max a $10 cab ride home.
Right.
And I'm like, nah, take the girls, you know, like, you're good, bro, like, I got this. Eventually, they convinced me to get in the cab with them, but not before I get in an argument with the bouncer at the nightclub because I'm like, man, I gotta take a piss.
Yeah.
And the guy's like, you can't come back into the club, it's closed. I'm like, well, then I'm gonna piss right here at the front door.
Where the rocks were.
Right, like, on your establishment, basically. And the guy's like, don't do that, man. Come on, don't do. I'm like, man, I'm not asking for a lot. I just want to go take a piss in the toilet if I can. Yeah. And the guy's like, oh, fine, come on. Like, again, I'm super unreasonable. I don't know what was in me. Apparently, I drank some fight drink or something like that. But like,
something was in it.
In any case, they get me back in the cab after all this.
Yep.
We get back home.
Yep.
We get back. We had greased one of the attendants, the security guards at our hotel, so he would let us in with whoever the hell we came back with and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I think that's a good place to end the story before part 2. I don't know.
Yeah, I think the funniest thing about this whole thing is like all this work, it was nothing after, because like literally when we walked out of the cab, so I'm walking with the girl by my side and then we're talking like, hey, you know, it's gonna be a fun time. We had bottles or whatnot in the room, and then our other friend yelled like, okay, like so and so, I don't remember her name, like, hey, like it's good, like I know like you're surrounded with good people, so it's all good, you know, I'll catch you up tomorrow. And then the minute she heard that, she's like, yep, oh, I'm not staying. Turned around and then took the same cab that we got in. And I was like, wow.
Just another drama-filled evening from your host here at Drunk Words, Drunk Thoughts.
Yeah.
And like I said, that is a good place to leave off.
Yep.
We will have part 2 and part 3. Look for those down below. If they haven't dropped, they will be out in the next couple weeks. Yep. So, I've been your host, Ray.
This is Max.
And thank you so much for watching. Hit that subscribe button. We're on a road to 100 subscribers. Help us get there. Hit that like button. Comment down below if I am the craziest bastard you ever heard of. Or if you think you're crazier than me, that's fine. Like, no problem. I want to see your YouTube channel. Post those links down below. In addition to that, the notification bell, what do?
We hit the bell. Let's go.
And we're out. Thank you so much.